Hey everybody, it's Dan, your friendly fishmonger at dansfish.com. We have a tour today. We're going to show you some amazing fish. I do want to say though, at the time the footage was taken, a lot of these fish were still in quarantine. So you might see some cloudy water with medications in the water and things like that. But the only way for us to get these fish videos released in a timely manner for you is if we record the footage kind of early before they're available to sell. Otherwise, we can't release the video till way after the fish are already listed, and that kind of defies the point. So you're going to see some awesome stuff. You're going to see a fish that is the most requested fish we ever get here, and we haven't had it in stock since like March. It's the dwarf red-tailed eel. You'll see some amazing Corydoras and a whole bunch of other species. So strap in, let's show you what we got here. All right, here is a tank that is a ton of fun. These are a whole bunch of Panda Corys. We have tried just about every supplier from these and had a really hard time finding consistently healthy ones. So we finally bit the bullet, brought a bunch in from a breeder in Europe. That's these ones we're looking at right here. And so far the survival rate's really, really good. We've examined them. We do have some worms in them, so it's going to take us a little while to medicate them and get them ready for our customers. But so far we're about, this video is taken about a week in or so, and we have had very few losses. So that's a good sign. We just need to clear them from a few more parasites. That'll take another week or two, and hopefully we'll have nice, really healthy Panda Corys for you. Now, being that they came in from Europe, they are going to be more expensive. European fish are the most expensive ones for me to source, but if I had brought these in from a different supplier, we would have had a lot more losses. So I think it's going to be worth it. I think the survival rate will be better for us and for you. But anyway, we're doing the work to get them clean, and hopefully we'll have some nice ones for you available fairly soon. Now, luckily, most of the fish in this shipment did really well, including these. These are the Apisto agassizii. This is the fire red form, and this is one of our top sellers. And I think it's easy to see why it's a top seller. I mean, look at how bright and colorful these are. One of the most frequent questions we're asked is, what's a good centerpiece fish in a smaller aquarium? Say you've got like a 20-gallon or something. You don't have a massive 100-gallon aquarium. Just a little modest 20 or 30-gallon tank, and you want a nice centerpiece fish in there. Usually what you're asking for when you say centerpiece fish is something that's bright and colorful, something that you'll see from across the room. And these fit the bill. They don't get too big, so they can live fine in a tank of 20, 30 gallons, maybe even smaller. And they are super bright, super colorful. And because of that, they're a great seller. And they're typically a nice, hardy fish. For a cichlid, they're very peaceful. And I think they fit the bill in a lot of cases for what you would want for your centerpiece. Now this is a beautiful little Livebearer. This is the black-chinned Livebearer. It's interesting. There's a lot of really highly, developed domestic strains of Livebearers, right? They have a ton of color, extended finnage, all that. And then you have the wild type Livebearers like this. And even though they don't have the massive, developed coloration of a lot of the domestic strains, I think they're a darn good looking fish. I think they're really interesting. I love the black that goes from the lip down underneath through the gonopodium on the males. That's what gives them the name black-chinned Livebearer. And to me, they look like like a Frenchman from the 1920s, knocking on the door of the speakeasy in Paris with his black mustache, a mustachioed Frenchman. Anyway, it's a unique little Livebearer, one you don't see all that often. Neat wild form. And by the way, they're hardy, they eat everything, super easy to keep, very easy to breed, and quite prolific. So what's not to like? This fish right here is one of our top 10 most requested fish. It's the blue flame It's the blue flame Apistogramma agassizii. They are absolutely stunning. Speaking of fish that would be a good centerpiece, these definitely work for that. And they're very difficult to get. I only know of one breeder that supplies these, and they don't breed them in massive quantities. So we get them in whenever we can. There's always a lot more demand than supply, but we did get this group in, and so far they have been wonderful. So I'm thrilled to say that I think these are gonna be nice and healthy and hardy and do really well for you. These are easy to keep. They eat everything. They'll eat dry prepared foods. They will appreciate the addition of frozen or live foods on occasion as a treat. And they're an agassizii type. So they're not super aggressive and they're not gonna get really big. They're an Apisto. So they'll fit, you know, into reasonably sized tanks just fine. All right, this is often regarded as the king of killifish. First off, because of its amazing colors. This is the blue Gularis, and it's aptly named, as you can see, a nice blue on that body and on the finnage. It grows large. These will get a body size of 4 to 5 inches. And then on the males, the finnage will extend dramatically. It'll get a massive trident-shaped tips on the tail that extend and get these long streamers. So if you take those into account, sometimes these fish could get 7, 8 inches. They're big, beautiful, awesome killifish. They're not difficult to keep. They're not difficult to breed. They'll eat everything. They're little pigs. They don't mind flake foods or pellets. They really like frozen brine shrimp and bloodworms, and they would just adore you if you occasionally gave them some live food as well. This has been one of my favorite killifish for nigh on 30 plus years. Just I've loved them since the moment I first saw them. All right, this little rarity is Simpsonichthys santanae. It's one of the species of beautiful pearlfish, South American annual killifish from Brazil. We brought these in legally. We were inspected by the authorities. We let them know we were bringing them in, and I've spoken with everyone that I need to that's a regulator, and we are perfectly legal to keep these and sell these. So if you're worried that, you know, getting these is a problem, it's not. I've checked with everyone in the United States that you could check with. It's an actual authority on the issue, and we're clear. We're good to go. So if you like these beautiful little killies from South America but are worried about getting them from a legal place, these are a place you could get them with good conscience. Anyway, we found these hardy and easy to keep. They love frozen foods, they love live foods, and they will learn to eat prepared foods as well. It just might take a little while to get them there. Simpsonichthys santanae. Okay, I am positively giddy with excitement about this fish. This is an old favorite of mine. I've loved this fish for many a decade, but I have not been able to find it for a long time. This is Aplychilus lineatus. You might know the gold color form of this fish, the golden wonder killie, which is frequently available in the big box stores and has been, you know, mass produced by the industry. But the wild form, which is this one, which I think is so much more beautiful with those stripes on it and those colors on the fins, is very difficult to find. So found a breeder, brought them in, and they're doing great for us. Now, but an absolutely stunning fish that I'm thrilled to have. I've wanted for years, and all I could find forever was that stinking golden wonder killifish, which is still a nice fish, but I wish the industry would produce this one as well, because in my mind, this is the superior looking fish. Speaking of cool killifish, this is Aphyosemion gabunense. A beautiful, hardy, easy to keep, easy to breed fish. This is one that a beginner with killifish would likely have good success with. They are not difficult at all. They'll eat everything. They'll spawn in mops. They are not an annual species, so they'll live as long as your typical Livebearer is a guppy or platy or swordtail or molly might. So you get all the color, you get all the benefits without the short life that some of the annual species of killifish can have. So highly recommend this one for someone who's just dabbling in killifish for the first time. I think these will do well for you. Now this tank is a ton of fun because this fish is a ton of fun. This is Corydoras napoensis. It's from the Elegans complex. They come from the Napo River, hence the name napoensis. Makes sense. These are just as hardy and gregarious and full of clowny behavior as your typical Corys. With Corydoras, if you get them in groups, you'll see the best, most fun behavior. The bigger the group, the better. These guys really like being around each other for the most part. These are one of the ones that does. There is one lineage, lineage 1, that they'll fight amongst each other. And there's the scleromystics, which will also fight amongst each other. But of the 9 lineages or different kinds of Corys, the other 7 are fairly peaceful. And in fact, really like being together. In nature, they're found in groups from the hundreds to the tens of thousands, depending on the time of year. So keep them together in a big group and you'll have happy, healthy, clowning around Corys that are fun and gregarious and are doing all kinds of neat behavior to watch. Speaking of Corys that are a ton of fun, this is the CW9, the green laser Cory. Not only is it fun, but unlike most Corys, it's also colorful. In fact, it might be the most colorful species of Corydoras out there. I don't know, it's a toss-up between like Corydoras equus, the fireball Cory, Hephaestus, how do you say that? Hephaestus. There's a blooper we'll probably keep in. And the orange lasers and the yellow lasers are all really pretty ones. I like the Vulcan Cory as well. So there's a few, though, that actually have nice color. This is one of them. It's an Aeneas type, so it's just as hardy and easy to keep as a Corydoras Aeneas. These I don't think are difficult to breed either. I know a lot of people that have successfully bred the various kinds of laser Corys. So I think it has all the benefits of your typical hardy, nice Corydoras, but just with a neat pop of color, and they are gorgeous. They glow. They're a very beautiful fish. Okay, this species has always been a bit of a mystery for me. This is Corydoras schultzii, the black Venezuelan Cory. And the reason it's a mystery is it's very hardy, it's easy to breed, and everybody wants it, but it's hard to get, which just blows my mind. I would have thought that by now enough people would have produced these, the price point would have dropped and they would be everywhere, but that's not the case. It's another Aeneas type Cory, hardy, simple, not a difficult fish, but for some weird reason, it's difficult to source them. There's just not many available. So the supply is still a lot less than the demand. These retail from anywhere to like 20 to 30 bucks. And so I think this would be a great breeding project. I think this was one that's simple to breed and raise, but is still in high demand. So if you're looking for a Corydoras breeding project, then I think this is a good one. I'd like to buy a whole bunch from you if you successfully breed and raise them. So, yeah. So I really can't think of a downside on these guys. They're not difficult. They're extremely prolific, and it just blows my mind that they aren't everywhere by now. All right, this is the Bulgarian lilac angelfish. These are small, so they aren't showing the lilac sheen as much yet. But I've had these when they had time to grow in and get big in the past, and they got a nice seal point pattern with a very subtle lilac sheen over the body. They really are a beautiful angelfish, a nice seal point type. Instead of the greens and stuff though, they have that kind of neat lilac sheen to them. Now, I'm not gonna lie and say that they glow a bright purpley lilac pinky color. They don't. But there is a subtle sheen across the body of that color. So I think they're aptly named, and I think they're very beautiful and quite unusual for a seal point variety. To my mind, this is the prettiest of the chrome Aphyosemion species of killifish. There's some that might have more color and more intricate pattern. There's really pretty species of bivitatums and bitanniatums and volcanums and polyachis. The chrome Aphyosemions is a neat bunch of fish. But what I think makes this the most beautiful of them all is it gets larger. So it has really nice color and bold patterns, and it gets big enough that those are easy to see. So some of the smaller species might have more intricate patterns, might even have some more in-depth colors, but they're so small that it's harder to see. So that's why I like this one. I like the one from the Funge location is my favorite of all the chrome Aphyosemion types. Now right now they're still pretty young, so you're not seeing the really long extensions that they get on their fins, but over time, they're going to develop very tall dorsal fins with massive extensions, really long anal fins, and when they display and raise those and shimmy around in full display, they're absolutely stunning. It is a sight to behold. I like this fish so much that it became my logo. So the logo for dansfish.com is a silhouette of one of these fish that I took a picture of while it was in display. In fact, here's the picture. The original picture that the logo was originated from. All right, Aphyosemion macmasteri is an old favorite. They've been in the hobby for a long, long time. They're hardy, they're fairly peaceful for a cichlid, for even for an Apistogramma, and they're beautiful. And they've been in the hobby long enough that there's been some neat color strains developed from them. This is one of them. They've developed this nice red color on the shoulder. So this is the Aphyosemion macmasteri red shoulder variety. As they grow, they just get more and more color, and they are truly one of the prettiest fish, I think, in the world. I think they're absolutely stunning. So if you like Aphyosemion macmasteri gold red shoulder, but you want something that's a little more natural looking, a little less like in your face bright, then I think this is a step in the right direction. All right, I've known about the electric blue rams for a long, long time, but I had not heard of the orange head electric blue rams or koi head electric blue rams or whatever, yellow head, whatever you want to call them. There's a few different words for them. Until just a few months ago when my friend Alexander from Fish Story, formerly The Secret History Living in Your Aquarium, mentioned to me on a live stream, asked me on a live stream if I had seen them, and I was like, no, I haven't. And I was intrigued, and so I went and hunted some down. We brought a batch in. They were absolutely stunning. And so it's a fish that I've tried to keep in stock ever since. I think that this is the third group that we've brought in. We found a breeder that does a good job. And this is a nice electric blue fish with a bright orange head, like a basically koi head on it. They've proven to be very hardy for us. They've done really well. And the breeder does an excellent job with them. It sends us nice, healthy ones. So if you like rams and want something a little bit different, here you go. It's a ram and it's a little bit different. All right, I was finally able to source some more of these as well. This is my third time being able to get this fish in. It's not easy to get. Actually, it is. You can get saffron mollies all the time, but it's hard to get good quality ones. I only know of one breeder that's working them intensely and getting really nice ones. Right now, they're a bright orange fish with a black eye and not impressive finnage yet. This is a slow developing fish, but once it develops, it turns into this. We'll show you a picture of some nicely developed males. They get these really nice dorsal fins, and they extend along the body at great length. So they're tall and they're sturdy. And the body size on these fish, these are big, robust fish. The slow developing males is actually what you want. In Livebearers, some males mature really early. That's a breeding strategy. Small body, don't get to their full potential fins and body size, but if they mature really early, they get a chance to breed before the rest of the group matures. Other males, their strategy is, I'm going to take longer to mature, I'm going to grow bigger and more robust, and when I am finally ready to mature, I'll be big enough to support really nice finnage. And that's what this is. This strain has been developed from late maturing males that reach their full potential. And I know that just because I've kept a couple batches in the past long enough to see that maturity happen. They're absolutely stunning and worth every penny. All right, there are red dragon guppies, there are green dragon guppies, and I'd like to introduce you to the blue dragon guppy. Same thing, predominantly blue. So if you like dragon guppies and want to try a different color, then this is one to get your hands on. We have a good breeder of these, and so far this batch has proven nice and healthy. We haven't had heavy losses or anything, so when they come in this good of shape, they generally get through quarantine quickly and thrive for our customers. So I think these will do really well for you. Okay, this is a very interesting little Livebearer, the Dusky millions fish, Phalloceros cautimaculatus. What makes it so interesting is how do you explain this? What makes it so interesting is its reproduction. So we were able to source some of these for the University of California, Riverside. They're at the Resnick lab. They're doing studies to look at the development of quote-unquote placental Livebearers. Up to this point, I had known that the Gudaids have an analog to a placenta with their babies, and that they nourish the babies in your utero, if you will. But I didn't know that any other Livebearer did that until UC Riverside told me that these do that. So the Dusky millions fish is a little different in that the mother actually provides nutrition for the babies while they develop inside her. Unlike most posiliids, what happens in most posiliids is the eggs stay in the mother, but the eggs already contain all the nutrition the baby needs to develop. It's a separate system from the mom. So the mom's not providing them with nutrition, she's just protecting them in her body while they develop on their own. But in this case, the female actually nourishes the baby in kind of a ancient form, I suppose, of like a proto-placental form of reproduction, which I think is absolutely fascinating. All right, here is a bright and beautiful species of swordtail. These are the Sanke form of the Koi swordtail. Really pretty like a kohaku, but instead of just orange and white, they also have that really nice melanistic black spotting on them for a nice contrast. So to me, I think these just pop a little nicely. I like fish with high contrast on them, and the black on these really does provide that. The breeder does a good job. These have come in and done really well for us. So yeah, if you want something a little different when it comes to domesticated swordtails, this is a good option. And we're sometimes also able to get the high fin form of this, not always, but sometimes we can, which is as pretty as this with a nice tall dorsal fin. Two neat varieties of Sanke Koi swordtails that we can get in. Okay, this fish has a million different common names. We're deciding to call it the coral tiger platy, but sometimes it's called the bleeding heart platy, sometimes it's called the red tiger platy, sometimes it's called the red zebra platy. There's many different things that it's called, but whatever it's called, it's really beautiful. It's a white to cream colored fish, and the males get a lot of red striping on the body. So kind of unique in the platy world is this one, the coral tiger platy. One of the most requested fish here at Dan's Fish is this one, the Hawaiian Variatus Platy. They're a brilliantly colored Livebearer. It's easy to see why people want them. Bright yellow, contrasted with that black tuxedo pattern, and often some orange on the tail. Really pretty, really neat little platy. It's been around forever, but like most Livebearers, it's been very difficult to find nice, healthy ones. This group, doing great. I think they're gonna thrive for you, and they have all that happy, sunshiny color. Okay, this is a new one to us. This is a molly that we've never seen before. It's the butter popcorn molly, named because of the white and yellow coloration. Some of them are mostly white, some of them have more yellow, and a lot of them have a mix of the two. Now, since this is brand new and these are small, I don't know what their final form will be. I suspect that those white ones might get some yellow spots on the body as they mature, but I don't know for sure. First time seeing these. Anyway, they're bright and cheery, like, I don't know, like a sunshiny day or like butter on popcorn. And I'm real interested to see what they're like when they're fully grown. So if you wanna take a gamble and go on a little adventure with an unknown fish, here you go. So this is another very highly requested Livebearer for us. This one's a little hard to get. You can get different strains of Koi Guppies, but what's hard to find is the snakeskin Koi Guppy. In fact, I believe we were the first people to bring it in commercially into the United States. And here is the result. They're beautiful fish, the bright red colors that you want on your Koi Guppies, but with a nice snakeskin pattern on the body. And the price point for a nice quality rare fish like that is not terrible. These aren't like a crazily priced fish. So new variety, really pretty, not too pricey. What's not to like? Here's another form of Koi Guppy. This is the blonde Koi Guppy. Differs from the other one in that it does not have the snakeskin pattern on the body, and it's also brighter. Hence the name blonde. So if you like Koi Guppies and you want one that kind of sparks from across the room, has a nice gold, whitish, blondie color, then these are for you. The blonde Koi Guppies are developed from a tuxedo line. So as you can see, some of the males have quite a bit of tuxedo patterning, and they're highly variable in that way. Some have more tuxedos, some have less. But they all have a nice kind of bright goldish, blondie, I guess you would say, base color. All right, take an Emperor Kerri Tetra, feed it nothing but blueberries for like 3 years, and this is what you would expect to be the result. This is a super blue Emperor Kerri Tetra. It basically looks like an Emperor Kerri Tetra was dipped in blueberries. That's how I think of them anyway. Stunning bright blue colors that get even more intense with age. And yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of fish that have a lot of blue color for aquariums. This is one of the few, and it's been bred to maximize the blue. So if you're looking for blue, this is the one for you. All right, of the Gertrude types, these are the ones that I like the best, the different Arus, because the ones from the Aru Islands have these really bright yellow-orange tips on the caudal fin, that's the tail fin, and the pectoral fins and the anal fin, and sometimes they get it on the dorsal fin too, if I remember right, just a little bit. So you take your typical spotted Gertrude, your typical aquarium strain Gertrude, which is kind of tan with a neat spotted lace pattern on the body and in the fins, really pretty fish. And you dress it up for prom by adding these bright yellow-orange tips to it, and you get what I think is the prettiest form of Pseudomulgo Gertrude in the world. I think these are the best of all the Gertrude. One thing I'm really proud of here at Dan's Fish is our work with Livebearers. I would say that the industry, on a scale of 1 to 100, the industry typically operates at about a 20 as far as how well they do with Livebearers. We've been working hard to make that better. I think we're up at about 75 or 80. We still have some work to do. I want to get to 100, but 75 to 80 is pretty good. It's taken a lot of work and several years to get to this point. And now most of our Livebearers are doing fantastic. We've kind of figured out how to source them properly. We've figured out how to quarantine them and what medications to give them and things to make them thrive for our customers. So we still have a little work to do, but I think this batch is awesome. And I think if you get these red Dragon Guppies, that they're going to thrive for you. Any of the Livebearers we're showing in this video, I think are doing great and have a great chance of thriving for whichever customer gets them. We finally have some more of these available. These are the Blue Dream Shrimp. We haven't been able to produce enough to have them for sale for quite a while. So we brought some more in so that we could satisfy our customers' needs. This batch is doing fantastic. They've been hardy, they've been thriving, and I think they'll do really well for you. So these are a Neocaridina type, so like a red cherry shrimp, but the blue color. And the nice thing about the Neocaridinas is they thrive naturally in the kind of water most people in the United States have, which is fairly alkaline, fairly hard. Some of the Caridina species, in order to breed them successfully, like the crystal reds and things, they're gonna do better if the water isn't quite as hard. And sometimes you have to doctor your water a little bit to get colonies of those to thrive and to get good production, get lots of babies. Not these. These do great in your typical hard water, and they'll breed great also in soft water. So no matter what kind of water you have, in my experience, they do well in both types. Hard alkaline, or in some of your softer water like you folks up in Seattle might have, or Georgia. So yeah, I think these will work for pretty much anybody, no matter what water type you have. Okay, we've kind of saved the best for last. This might be the most requested fish we have. We have a really good breeder for the dwarf red-tail eels. They are beautiful, they're hardy, they're bred in aquariums. This breeder does an excellent job. However, they don't breed many of them. So the last time we were able to get a group of these was last spring. I believe it was March that we were able to have these. So we've been waiting for several months. People have been wanting them for months. We were finally able to get another group in, and I'm happy to say they're just as hardy and beautiful as all the previous batches we've gotten. I don't think we've lost a single one of these since we put them in our aquariums. So this is a nice eel. It's beautiful. It doesn't get too big. It tops out at about 7 inches. It's not going to get massive like a fire eel would. So it's a manageable size for most aquarists. It's hardy, it's aquarium bred and raised, and it is just gorgeous with that bright red tail and the nice black spots that contrast with it. So the dwarf red-tail eel, we've got a few. I'm going to try to get more, but we bought everything the breeder had. So this could be it for a while, guys. So those are just a few of the fish we have available here at Dan's Fish. Almost all of those were sourced from European breeders, which do a great job, have high quality fish, but they charge a lot. So they're more expensive, but the fish are really high quality and usually really good health as well. If you want to learn more about aquarium fish, we do a live stream every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope you join us there. Until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.